Hey, welcome to my channel. This is the first video I'll ever post. I finally took people's advice on TikTok to start a YouTube channel. And this channel, I'll be talking about style, trials, and communication tips. But the trial that I want to focus on here today is the trial of Young Thug, aka Jeffrey Willaims. So you've been hearing a lot of stuff on the news that he's been charged and he has racketeering charges and everyone's talking about RICO. But the problem is no one's giving you real details as to the scope and exactly what's going on. So I want to give you like a crash course in what's going on so you could understand it. And my goal is to hopefully explain it to you in a very simple way like you are 5. Let me know how good of a job I do, and if you have any further questions. So he has an indictment. I actually pulled both of the indictments he has. This is the first one. This is the second one. It's all tabbed and you'll see why in a bit. And on that indictment, there are 28 different names. So 28 different people were initially charged with him. As you know, over the Christmas break around that time, some people were cut out. Now some people will be snitches, turning and testifying against him. But he remains. In his first, and the reason I bring up two indictments is because in his first indictment, he had fewer charges. He only had 2 charges at first, and then he was re-indicted in August, and they added a bunch more charges. So I think he went from 2 to 8 charges. They added 6 other charges that he has to stand trial for. Now, a little bit of what an indictment is. An indictment is just a formal accusation. It says, this is what we are accusing you of doing, and we have to prove this case as it is in Canada and the United States beyond a reasonable doubt. So that's what's going on there. What charges is he facing? Well, I'm glad that you asked. I'm going to take you through them. The first charge he's facing is one of conspiracy, and everyone, all 28 names on the indictment, were facing the charge of conspiracy. And conspiracy is essentially when you conspire, you have a meeting with 2 or more people to commit an offense. So this is how it reads if you want to hear the technical aspect of it. It shall be unlawful for any person through a pattern of racketeering activity or proceeds derived thereof to acquire, maintain directly or indirectly any interest or in or control of any enterprise, real property or personal property of any nature, including money. It's confusing. I'll stop reading it. That's why lawyers charge a lot of money. But basically, they're saying he was conspiring to engage in racketeering, and racketeering is basically criminal hustling of people for different reasons. So if they prove that he conspired in racketeering, they could find him guilty. And the evidence that they're using is kind of flimsy. Some of it anyway. Some of the evidence they're using is just his rap lyrics. So he's rapping about a criminal lifestyle, and that's what rappers do. They rap about crime, even people who aren't rappers. Sometimes I've spit freestyles where I'm talking about doing stuff that I actually don't do in real life. Yeah, I do freestyle. I used to do it a lot. And if you record some of the freestyles I've dropped, you'll be like, this guy's pretty hard. Meanwhile, I grew up in white suburbia in Canada. So I don't think there's much there. They're using a bunch of Instagram posts, gang symbols, and things like that in his indictment. Here, I'll read you some of the stuff we got here. They say that Jeffrey Willaims, an associate of YSL, that's the gang they're saying he runs, did appear in a video released on Garlington's Instagram account 6 days after the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., stating, "So a nigga lie to they mama, lie to they kids, lie to they brothers and sisters, and then get right into the courtroom and tell God's honest truth and don't get it. Y'all niggas need to get effing killed, bro, from me and YSL." And then they say that is an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. There are many examples of things like that. Here's another example of an act in furtherance of the conspiracy that they're accusing him of. They say, oh, that's the one of robbery. He did pose for a photo released on social media wearing red clothing and flashing a YSL gang hand sign, an act in furtherance of a conspiracy. Like, I don't get that. I see a bunch of people flash gang signs all the time because they're trying to be like they're hard or they're just having fun. I don't see how that's an act in furtherance of the conspiracy, but hey, I'm not the trial judge and I'm not the lawyers here. So that's one of the things that he's charged with. What else is he charged with? He's charged with participation in a criminal gang activity, and he's charged with subsection A and D. So it's unlawful for a person employed by or associated with a criminal gang to conduct or participate in criminal activity through the commission of an offense enumerated in paragraph 1. And then I read that paragraph, and that paragraph has a bunch of other paragraphs that list a bunch of crimes. But basically, if you commit a crime in relation with the gang, you could be in trouble. It's illegal. So they're saying he did some criminal activity in association with the gang. That's one of the charges. And then the other one is subsection D. It says it shall be unlawful for a person who occupies, and get this, a position of organizer, supervisory position, or any other position of management or leadership with regard to a criminal street gang. I didn't know they had supervisors in gangs, but I've never been in a gang. If you've been in a gang, let me know. Were you like the manager, the assistant manager, the organizer? In any case, if you're pretty much, this is saying, if you're in leadership in a gang and you conspire to participate in criminal activity, you could get in trouble. So if you're one of the top dogs in a gang and you're planning to do hits and doing shady stuff, you could be in trouble. And that's one of the charges he's charged with. The other charge is possession of drugs. So there's various drugs, and I'll list them all there. They're towards the end of the indictment. If you really want to pull this indictment and you're bored out of your mind, you could go there. But the section that deals with the drugs, nicely tabbed, I still use paper because I remember things better, are, oh no, I went to the wrong section, are the acts 183 to 188, and the drugs are marijuana, codeine, and cocaine. So those are the drugs that they're accusing him of. And then the last thing that they're accusing him of is possession of weapons, particularly an AK-47. So they're saying he obtained it, he used it in the commission of an offense. So if you use a weapon in the commission of offense, not only could you be guilty of the offense, but actually having the weapon is a problem. And then having a machine gun is illegal too. So those are the two charges, particularly an AK-47. But if we look at the facts with regard to those that AK-47, it's not that he's running around the streets with the AK-47. This is what they're saying that he did. They say, defendant Jeffrey Willaims, an associate of YSL, was the subject of a traffic stop for speeding involved in the stop where two vehicles, one being driven by Willaims and another vehicle closely following Willaims, containing 4 individuals who were armed with numerous weapons with high-capacity magazines, to include an AK-47 with a 30-round magazine, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. What can you tell by there? He didn't actually have the gun. That's not what they're alleging. But in law, there's actual possession where you actually have something. And there's the idea of constructive possession where someone has something for your benefit. So this seems like it's a case of constructive possession where someone he knew or he had control or he had knowledge of had that possession. You've often heard people say possession is 9/10 of the law. I think that's how it's said. But yeah, they had possession of it and he had some sort of control of it. And that's why he's charged with constructive possession. There are so many charges on this and there's so many ways to prove them, and they have all kinds of evidence. The rap lyrics. Speaking of rap lyrics, what do you think about people using rap lyrics to prosecute? You think that's something that should be done? You think it shouldn't be done? I'm not sure what's going to happen with this trial. I haven't seen the evidence called. It's going to be really interesting, and I hope to post more videos about it. If you found this video enriching, please let me know. Comment, subscribe, and like, and let me know any questions. Lastly, let me know what you know about, let me say that again. Lastly, let me know what you think about my threads. I'll be trying to sport some nice fresh suits, and I'll be posting links where you could get them if you like them. Thanks for watching the video.